Welcome, everybody. We're going to give this a second to let a few people tune in and make sure everything is running. Okay, how's everyone doing on Instagram? If I could get a thumbs up, please let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. Looks like TikTok is moving. All right, welcome everyone on TikTok. Same thing. If you can give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be greatly appreciated. And then welcome on Facebook and YouTube. All right, Tony Ramos, giving me a thumbs up here. You can see me. Everything's good. Thanks so much, Tony. So I want to make a couple quick announcements while we let people tune in. Some upcoming events that are going on. First off, we have Lewiston Harvest and Hops. I think this is my 4th year being out there. So this is a massive event in the heart of Lewiston, New York, which is a super historical spot on the water. It's very charming. I love it out there. So Lewiston Harvest and Hops is September 28th and the 29th from 10 to 5 p.m. Now, I'll be out there doing readings. You could pre-book with me on the website, Rivera, psychicmedium.com, or you could try your hand at a walk-in. We also have coming up right after that, Holiday. So this is going to be at the old Psych Center, the beautiful, historic, massive property that was turned into the Henry Hotel. And right now I'm not sure what exactly is going on at that property. So that's in Buffalo on Forest Ave. Okay, again, the old Psych Center. That's going to be October 4th from 4 to 8. Again, you can pre-book with me, or you can check out the Holiday Festival. There's going to be a ton of vendors there, a ton of artists, a lot of food, wine, even classes like how to make different things. I was like, oh, wow, this thing is actually huge. So there are other days where this is running. I won't be there on the other days, but on the 5th, the 19th, the 18th, readers from the Ivy League Psychic Academy will be there on those days. Okay, so if you want to come out and see me October 4th, that's great. If you want to go with one of our tarot readers or psychic mediums, they're going to be there every other day. So check that out. So excited about that one. We also have coming up after that is Spirits with the Spirits. This is a benefit for the Oakwood Cemetery in Niagara Falls. Love this event. So they've got trolleys running throughout the old historical cemetery. We have access into the mausoleums. I'll be giving a gallery reading at the front of the mausoleum and then doing private reads inside by candlelight with the beautiful stained glass windows. Those readings are going to book up. I've never done this where there was room for walk-ins. Okay, so you are going to want to go onto my website and pre-book for your reading. Get your tickets now. That event is going to sell out. So we are talking Saturday, October 5th from 3 to 8 p.m. And again, it's called Spirits with the Spirits at Oakwood Cemetery. And all the information is up on my website, so you can go right to their link from mine. I think we have one more to announce. Okay, so this is, I just sold another couple tickets a minute ago. So I think we have a very, very small, amount left. You guys are going to want to get on this. I am doing a ghost hunt here at the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home, headquarters for the Ivy League Psychic Academy. This is going to be October 26th. We're starting at 8 p.m. We're going from 8 to 11:30. You guys can also get tickets and join us online if you can't be here. But if you wanted to be here, if you've been wanting to come check the place out, this is your only public option for the rest of the year. Otherwise, you're going to have to book a private group. And yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so just a couple tickets left. What we're going to be doing here is going through all 4 floors. I'm going to show you all the hot spots and give you some training and education on how you can use your psychic, mediumistic, and empathic abilities, along with the equipment. Bring your own equipment to learn how to do a proper paranormal investigation. Super excited. I think it's like 3 hours, right? 8 to 11:30, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Okay, 2.5 hours. Okay. Pretty awesome. So hope to see you guys for that. All right. I think that's everything I really wanted to announce. We do have tonight's Q&A running with 2 producers in training. We have Kim and Olivia. Jill, our regular producer, is shadowing them. So we're all going to be super patient. And if you have to repost your questions, please do so. They're learning how to grab up the questions and, transfer them over here to YouTube and all that good stuff. So we do often see problems here on Instagram and TikTok. For those of you who've been following me on TikTok for a while, they always shut me down. So you guys may want to switch Instagram or TikTok viewers over here to YouTube at Ask Ivy to have the stability, knowing that the entire show will actually continue and your questions will get answered. We have with us Tiffany Chisler, our tarot instructor. How are you, Tiffany?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what we're going to be doing here tonight is talking about my upcoming psychic mediumship course beginning January 7th. That's for those of you who want to join with an actual group, or if you want to attend live online, or if you want to be here in person for it. You also have video download option with that because it is adult learning. So you can mix and match. If you can't make it here one week, maybe you just get the video download. That's fine. However, the psychic mediumship course is evergreen. So you don't have to wait until January 7th if you're ready to start right now. And you do get one-on-one interaction with me, with the assistant teachers here at the Academy. Now, Tiffany is teaching the Spirit of Tarot course, which also starts January 7th, and that is strictly online. There is no in-person option for that, and it is not yet available through Evergreen. We are filming it with her for the first time. Afterward, it will be available anytime. All right, so welcome, Tiffany. Like I said, we're excited to have you here. I know that you wanted to talk about the course, just give people the basics, and then we're going to get into the Q&A. So if you guys, wherever you are, whichever platform you're on, if you have questions, you're going to want to start dropping those now. Like I said, I have 2 producers here tonight who are in training. So they're going to be taking those as quick as they can. Okay, but start dropping them now. And we'll get to all of them throughout, when we're done talking about the basics on curriculum. If everyone could please, wherever you're tuning in right now, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It really helps me out in the algorithm. Please do subscribe. And if you are here on YouTube at Ask Ivy and you want to become a member for all types of perks, hit the join button to see the 3 different tier options. All right, so Tiffany, what can people expect with your Spirit of Tarot course? What are the basics?
Right. So what would make my tarot course a little bit different than most is I am incorporating Ivy's, what I have learned from Ivy in her psychic mediumship course. I'm incorporating that like in an aspect where you would use the cards to communicate with spirit, but that's just one way. So I'm also teaching how to intuitively read the cards and also how to traditionally read the cards and their images. So I'm really excited for it. And I highly, highly, highly recommend Ivy's psychic mediumship course because that was so life-changing for me. And it kind of got me on this path of combining the 2. So I'm really excited to teach everybody about it.
So yeah, when you look at other tarot readers, do you find that they are often sort of trapped using tarot as a tool? They can't evolve into mediumship?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've noticed. And it's something I've noticed in myself too, like when I first started tarot. And then the psychic mediumship course just kind of like opened up that whole door for me.
So I think this is so important because what Tiffany has done with her course, and this is really what makes it stand out from other courses, is it's not just using the traditional method of reading the cards. It's not just using even your psychic ability in reading the cards. It's combining the tradition with your mediumistic abilities. And it's so true that I've been doing this work since I was 15. I cannot tell you how many tarot readers I know who are maybe great tarot readers, but they always complain about the same thing, right? They always say, I cannot leave this tool behind. I want to do mediumship. I want to just freestyle with psychic ability. I can't let go of the cards. And so what Tiffany's going to make sure you are doing is evolving. You're using her intuitive method as well as the traditional method of using the cards. So you will evolve into mediumship if you are open to it. You know, it's not going to be a requirement in the course, correct, Tiffany?
Right. We're just dipping our toes. And if you want to, just read traditional, or if you want to pursue intuitive or spirit communication, that's fine. But I'm going to make you dip your toes.
Love it. All right, very cool. I want to explain a little bit about psychic mediumship course basics, and then we're going to start getting into your questions. So the psychic mediumship course has two different tiers of learning. You can either do a 10-week video download, which is something we're not really getting into here tonight. It's available anytime. Again, it's evergreen. Or you can do the full course. So that is a 28-week course. And we're going to be covering how exactly you are receiving information through your intuitive intelligence, which breaks down to psychic, mediumistic, and empathic ability. And then we break it down into bite-sized pieces from there, including concepts like the clairs. I'm sure everyone's heard of like clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaugustine, right? Claircognizance, like what are these things? So we take each category, we break it down further and further. And then where I find that you guys aren't doing so hot, maybe you need a little help with some of your abilities, or there kind of are no abilities in that area, I'm going to expose you to a series of exercises. You're not going to know when, you're not going to know where, you're not going to know what's happening. And it's going to sort of open up Pandora's box and trigger you into being able to connect in those ways. And throughout the entire course, we're making sure that you're maintaining it in a healthy manner. So we don't want to see a lot of the students here, experience things like overwhelm, emotional meltdowns, irritable bowel, ADD-like symptoms, OCD, social anxiety, depression. These are all normal side effects of being highly intuitive. And what we're going to do throughout the course is make sure that before you're triggered into doing anything new, you are able to handle it. The most important thing is that you are managing your abilities so they don't look like disabilities. And that's how you're eventually going to be able to go out authentically and help other people. So there are a ton of exercises going on. Again, you are working with the 28-week curriculum. You are, in addition to that, working with the public. So I wait until you're a little bit more comfortable, but from day one, you're reading your fellow students. And then we get you into probably about halfway through, maybe not quite, you start reading the public. So we have something called the guinea pig system, which Tiffany is also using through her tarot course. Our guinea pig system here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy is old as the day we began. And the school was established in 2013, but we really started a couple years before that. So people have loved the guinea pig system. It's a ton of fun. It's essentially where we let the public know that for a $10 donation, they can come in and get readings from the students. And they're usually pretty good about that. They're willing to give you feedback on what made sense to them, where they need more information. Some people are a little bit quiet, but we do tend to attract volunteers, guinea pigs that are open with their heart, open with their energy. And it's best. Tiffany, would you agree? I don't know how it is with tarot, but I think it's best if you're learning how to give readings to work with people that you do not know. You're not working with family, you're not working with friends, because they will taint the reading. They will maybe blow sunshine up your rear end too, you know, so they could block you. They could also tell you you're doing really well when it's not making any sense. Do you find this, Tiffany?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to tune into your intuition when you don't have any like preconceptions. And it's more validating that way.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Mhm.
Because really when you're giving a reading, you're removing your ego, you're removing yourself. And yes, when you have like preconceived notions or you still have some judgment, we can try to clear that out as much as possible, but that's the left logical side of your brain interrupting that reading. And we want to be on the right intuitive side of our brain, in the flow, in trance even. And it's just easier with people you don't know. I think also, and if this is intimidating, listen to, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to do that. First of all, you may think it's going to be hard to read people you don't know, but like Tiffany said, like the energy there, because you don't have preconceived notions and your own self getting in the way, it is powerful. Okay, you may think, well, I'm very nervous, but that's okay. That's part of all of this, you know, heart palpitations and anxiety attacks, or even part of mediumship, you know. So you want to be open to that part of it. It's really what in the curriculum is going to get you the farthest, the furthest. It's going to take you to the next level because you're working with people off the streets and you're able, again, to get that feedback from them. Also, in the event, is this an option in your course, Tiffany, but like in mine? If you don't want to read the public, if you're like, I just want to come for the information, I want to work with my fellow students, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this professionally. I'm doing this for self-development. And that makes me uncomfortable. You can still join and do that. You're not going to get certified. I can't certify you and say that you are a reader, a professional level for the public, but you can certainly be here with us and take the classes just like everyone else. Is that an option through tarot?
Yeah, definitely. If that's what you feel called to do, if you just want to use it for self-development, you can definitely do that. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So if that makes you nervous, you know, and you don't have to decide as you enter, we'll work with you. You know, if you're halfway through the course and maybe a little late to switch up, okay? But come join, see how you feel. Also, depending on where you guys are tuning in, it's ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com if you want to go get yourselves registered, okay? Again, it's ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. Let's go ahead and start getting into questions. What do we have? Okay, is this, okay, I think that one's for you, Tiffany. You want to like read it out loud and then answer?
Yeah, so Amelia says, what type of tarot cards are needed? Strictly the Rider-Waite? If so, will this course help to interpret other types of tarot? Yes. So we're going to start with the Rider-Waite. That's what is a really good kind of beginner deck, I guess. So most other decks, not all, but most are structured based on the Rider-Waite. So once you learn this one, it will be so much easier to, you know, pick up on symbols and imagery and things like that in other aesthetically designed decks, I guess. So yeah, definitely we'll stick with the Rider-Waite in this course, but it will definitely help you interpret other types of tarot for sure.
And how many weeks is tarot?
This one's 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Okay, I guess that maybe that's for both of us. I don't know. So I'll answer and then I'll have you answer. Okay, so Lewis asks, are there tests or weekly homework required for class and can people fail? Yeah, you can fail in mine. It's pretty rare to have someone not get certified who's trying to get certified. Usually if people fail in my course, it's because their ego is getting in the way and they refuse to follow what I call the PEC method, the psychology of energy communication method. Okay, so I have a method here, and the point of you coming in is to learn that method of reading And that's going to ensure that you're using discernment, that you're not bringing in negative toxic energy, that you're not, you know, working with low-level spirits, to make sure that you are giving the highest and best to your client. And if your ego is in the way, or you're really stuck on, a lot of people who come in here have trouble letting go of previous trainings. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but you want to be realistic. There is no training internationally that matches this. Everybody ends up here eventually. It's thorough training. I fill in all the gaps. I'm giving away all the secrets that the other trainings are not giving you. And if you had something else, you were probably taught wrong, and it may not fit with the PEC method. So again, those are the people who struggle the most, but it does break down to an ego issue. I have people who have all types of, I like to call it other abled, okay? So maybe disabilities, ranging from being deaf, blind, Tourette's, schizophrenia to neurodivergence. I mean, you name it, everything under the sun. And those are the students that tend to excel the most out of their group. So there's nothing limiting you but you, you have to have a willingness to actually get in the flow of things. And is there homework? Yes. If you are, again, this is adult learning, you know, so you're really going at your own pace. But yes, before you can move up to the next level within the course, there are weeks where we have homework, and you do need to be turning that in on time in a Google chat that we have going on. Tiffany?
All right, so weekly homework, yes. I think there's going to be about 6 like practice readings with either guinea pigs or classmates. So look forward to that. And then you're going to want to flip your cards quite often, probably during the week, you know, during the week or whenever you have time. So you can familiarize yourself with the imagery. And then as far as people failing, I would probably, again, like Ivy, only fail someone if they're being unethical, like saying harmful messaging. But yeah.
Right. And this is Tiffany's first time teaching this course, but when did you come in for psychic mediumship and tarot? I mean, you've been with us like a decade, right? You
almost 2017.
When was it?
2017.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, she's been doing this a long time, but this is her first time teaching. Let's assume no one is going to fail. Okay. She doesn't have to do that. But what's that?
Oh, sorry. Right off the very first class is I'm teaching ethics. So you'll be set up for success for sure.
Very good. Yeah, ethics are a huge part of this. So one of the things we pride ourselves on here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy is, like Tiffany said, giving high vibrational messages. We are not bottom feeders. We are not dark arts here, and we are not telling clients negative things to hook them and reel them in to get them to purchase more. And so, you know, Tiffany's watching for that. I'm watching for that. If that's the type of reader you plan to be, or you have been in the past, you're not going to make it here. So those are really kind of the only people that fail. Okay. Great question. Thank you, Lewis. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Olivia. Okay. So Olivia says, what are the main topics or skills that will be covered in the psychic mediumship course? Oh God. So if you go on to, the website, so you go to ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com, or you can go to psychicmediumshipcourse.com. You're going to see the 28-week breakdown. So you're going to see the curriculum and all the different things we cover. But in a nutshell, again, we're going to cover all the clairs. We're going to cover how having these abilities can look like disabilities. We're going to cover empathic ability, which is a required training. This is something that I teach in universities. I train therapists, I train educators, I bring it into the public school system. So you have to learn how to manage that before anything. That comes early on. And then you're going to have a bunch of other required classes that the public can buy anytime, but you're going to have this in with your 28 weeks. That includes hauntings, clearings, and detachments class, so you can get trained in lower level energies, paranormal activity. That's going to be relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting, karma, contracts, and past lives. Coffee with your angels, which teaches you how to identify and work with angels, often confused for aliens. We have meet your guides. This is how you learn how to communicate with your guide system that was appointed to you at life. You're going to learn how to do life contracts. You're going to learn how to do criminal investigations, paranormal consultations, missing persons, remote viewing, medical intuitive, everything. Okay, basically everything. The skills, well, you're going to have to get good at all the skills, so again, I don't expect you to come in here and have a ton of skills. I expect everyone who comes in here to have a couple different things going on that are maybe sporadic. It comes and it goes for you. You're not sure what these abilities are, but you have something going on. What I'm going to do is help you to get educated on what you have going on, where it's coming from, what you could do with this so you can get the upper hand, and then we're going to trigger all the other skills. Okay. All right, we have another question coming in. Thank you, Olivia. That's a great question. Tiffany, that one's for you.
Serenity asks what spreads are going to be taught. We're going to do a couple traditional spreads and also intuitive spreads. So we'll start with the 3-card one, which is pretty much standard. And then I'll teach you how I do my intuitive spreads. And then the Celtic Cross is like the big one. We'll go over that. That's a pretty traditional spread. And then I also teach you how to make your own.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I tend to like that the most. Like when I get tarot reads, because they're addictive for sure. I tend to like when someone does a spread for me that they created. I'm like, wow, that really resonates. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And we have some people asking like, oh, I wasn't aware there's a fee. There is no fee to ask a question. This isn't one of my like psychic mediumship shows tonight. We're talking about 2 upcoming classes, the psychic mediumship course and the tarot course here at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. There is no fee to submit your question, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, go ahead and submit. And our producers are grabbing up your questions. So if you guys want to just go and start looking around yourself, ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. Both classes are listed up there with a lot of curriculum information. Okay, so this is from Tim, and it looks like this is for both of us. Are there any prerequisites or prior knowledge required to join the tarot or psychic mediumship classes? Not for me. I would actually almost guarantee that you're going to do better if you don't have previous training. Okay. Tiffany, what about you?
No prerequisites, just come as you are and be open to exploring your intuition.
So exciting. Okay. And let me tell you, okay, you guys will leave. How many times have we seen this, Tiffany? I call them baby students. When my baby students, right, graduate, they get certified, they go out into the world, they blow people away who've been doing this for 20, 25 years. Okay. I'm telling you, fresh out there, blowing them away. All right. So you may start not knowing a single thing, but when you leave, you're going to be at expert level. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let's get on to another question. This is from Edison. I guess this is for both of us. Are any recommended or required items like crystals or incense? No. And I would recommend you don't, because I don't want you coming in here using tools. We need to remove all tools and start raw so I can see what you actually have going on your own. Okay. Tiffany, what about you?
I like crystals to, I mean, like recommended or required, like nothing's required at all. It's really all your personal preference. And then like when you get into your own practice or you're doing, events and stuff, it's fun to have like a really fun looking display. And also the crystals really improve the energy. They help me a lot with my anxiety because I'm so anxious at all times. So they help me, especially at events when there's a lot of people. But nothing's required. It's really your personal preference.
Which crystals do you use for your anxiety and to like heighten your intuition and stuff?
I like having a selenite and like an onyx or any kind of black stone. And then I use the tiger's eye that you recommended for like grounding. That's helpful.
Yeah, tiger's eye is definitely good. I started using those for like migraines and just to help with the grounding energy, because sometimes you're doing this work, it's just like I am floating away, like you're going into trance and you're numb in the face, you got tingling and like translucent lines, you're starting to lose it, you're going into these other dimensions.
Yeah.
And tiger's eye can help with that. Also, I know a lot of people love the amethyst. Okay, amethyst, the purple crystals, those are going to help you with your psychic ability, your mediumship, tarot, all of that. And that's fine. Again, if you like that kind of thing, it's fine to bring in. We really need to see, though, with the psychic mediumship course, where you are baseline without any help. And I would never recommend that you sleep with things like that. I know a lot of people like to keep amethyst all over, in their bedroom, and they don't understand why they don't sleep. It's too much sometimes, even. They work that well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so be mindful about what you're bringing in, okay? Let's move on to another one. I see a bunch coming in here. Okay, we have Find Your Feathers. Says, are the other classes included in the psychic mediumship course, for example, hauntings, clearings, tea with your angels? So let me clarify on that. Great question. So when I said you have these required, learning classes, they are part of the 28 weeks. So you're not having to purchase them separately. But if people who are tuning in, public, who aren't taking the full course want them, they can get that. So again, that was empathic awareness, that's hauntings, clearings, and detachments, that's coffee with your angels, that's meet your guides, that's karma contracts, past lives, relationships, boundaries, and cord cutting, and I think a couple other ones. And anybody from the public can go get those courses. They run 2 hours if you don't want to take, the entire thing. Yep. Okay, we have any other questions? Let's see. Allie says, okay, are there in-person readings? I think this is for both of us, Tiffany, so I'll go and then I'll let you go. Allie says, are there in-person readings and what do they have to be completed by? Well, what you guys are going to be doing, and I'll be honest, I'm strict on this because we are looking for serious students. We are looking for professionalism. I don't want a bunch of people who are agreeing to be somewhere and then you stiff the guinea pig, you stiff the volunteer, you stiff the client. Okay, because eventually what does that say? If you're stiffing the volunteer, you decide, I don't feel like showing up today, even though I agreed to, and there's no emergency involved, you're going to do that to your clients, and we don't want the Ivy League name on you. So we do have strict requirements that if you say you're going to be there to work with whatever guinea pigs and volunteers are assigned to you, you do need to show up. So there are penalties for that, and it can cost you the certification if you're no showing all the time. So those are not necessarily in-person readings if you can't be here. So we do in-person readings, but the majority of our students, because we're an international school, and this is going to be the only thing you're doing with tarot, it's online. So you're doing these through Google Classroom. Sometimes you'll be able to do them through like Facebook Messenger or Zoom or something like that. So we have different ways of approaching it. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, so they won't be, the readings will be like live, but not like face to face. So with the guinea pig system, you would be like, like you said, like calling or whatever. And then I guess when they have to be completed by depends on what, like if you're joining the live class, I'm assigning them pretty close to every week. But then if you're doing it like on your, not on your own time, like as you go, I think Jill would you would get set up with them as you get through the material. But yeah, we don't want any no-shows for sure. But you're able to schedule them, at your leisure. So just make sure you show up.
Yeah. So if we're not doing them like live in the class, then you're doing them on your own time and you schedule them with the volunteer. And we have assistant teachers here at the academy that are helping with all of that. So like Tiffany will not be involved with that. I'm not going to be involved with that, but we have like Jill, Mary, Jen. We have, a bunch of assistant teachers who help you get scheduled and set up and understand how to do that. Yeah, that's the most important thing, is just that you show up. There will be deadlines on that, like, within a specific time frame. Again, these readings will need to be complete so that you can move up to the next level with the rest of the group. If you are in fact with the group, if you're doing it independently, you're really kind of on your own with when you complete things. I will say that in the psychic mediumship course, we do 2 assessments. So I will have you doing a 15-minute recorded assessment that comes back to me that I have to listen to, where you're reading someone. And then you'll be doing a 30-minute assessment more toward the end of the course. And I will have to have those before you can get certified, for example. Yep. All right, let's move on to another question. These are good ones. Let's see. I think this is for both of us. Bernadette on Instagram says, what would you say to a person who thinks her intuition is good, but also a little scary? Should she just leave it alone? No, the last thing you should do is just leave it alone, because intuition increases if you go through something traumatic, if you're aging, and we all age, so it increases every 5 to 6 years on its own. If someone close to you, heaven forbid, including a pet, should pass away, if you get sick or you go through a surgery, even something as simple as like having your wisdom teeth removed. I mean, there are a million reasons. All of a sudden, you're going to get jolted, and your psychic, mediumistic, and empathic ability is going to increase. And if you're not working with it and you're not fully educated, and you don't understand what that increase is going to mean for you, you are eventually really going to feel that it's scary, but you're not going to understand that what's going on with you is because of the intuition. You're just going to start having disorders, depression, anxiety, sleeplessness, ear ringing, constant tinnitus, like a frequency, in your ears, OCD like symptoms, a million things. Okay. Primarily though, crippling social anxiety, sensitivity to lights and noise. You're going to start to think maybe you're neurodivergent. I mean, it just becomes this huge problem and it's debilitating. So we need to understand that that's really what we should be more scared of because the medical field is just going to like medicate you for that type of stuff. It's never going to fix it, right? They'll never admit that this is what's going on. So this is just about you understanding that energy exists in the world, that we're all made of energy, and that atmospheres and objects in the spirit world is also energy, and it's all interacting all the time. We're part of this bigger spider web, and we want to understand that spider web, not be afraid of that spider web. And when you understand it, it puts you in a unique position to fulfill your life purpose and to ultimately be able to go out there and help other people. And you really can't get started on that wholly until you understand energy yourself, your own energy. Tiffany?
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's time to train, because it's only scary because we don't know what's happening. So once we learn about it, like you were saying, once you understand it, and like especially your course is so detailed, like any symptom, any intuitive like symptom I was having, you like explained perfectly. Mm-hmm. So her course is very comprehensive in that way. You'll definitely identify like instances of intuitive abilities that you didn't even know was happening because you had no idea that was like a side effect. So yeah, definitely time to train and look into it more and face the fear.
Well, and we have to remember too where so much of this fear comes from, right? Because instead of being allowed to be like curious or intrigued, we're taught to be ashamed of it. We're taught to believe through the church that we're going to burn in hell for entertaining us, you know, which is serious, especially anybody raised in Christianity, Catholicism, you know, anything along that line, and most other religion, you're going to burn in hell, okay? If you so much as even look at this. And then there's also the stigma that goes along with it, you know, from the medical field. So it's like you're not allowed to talk about it even as a little kid when you have your imaginary friend. You have, you know, you're believing in the ghosts that you're seeing and your parents are telling you no. Well, they don't want you to be diagnosed as having a mental illness in school. So, you know, there's all this shame that comes along with it. And that's probably what the fear is. Now, I will legitimately say we do have spirits that are high vibrational. You could say in the higher dimensions or like in heaven, right? Or in the light. And then we have negative and low level spirits and entities in the world. That's true. But the approach to that needs to be education and discernment training, not turning a blind eye, treating it all as though it's scary, because then you're more susceptible to attack because you don't know what's going on. Yeah. And we cover all that. Okay, we'll cover all that in both courses. Okay, any other questions? That's a great question. Thank you, Bernadette. We have Tiffany, I think this is for you.
All right. Josh says, how are the tarot classes structured and what can students expect to learn at different levels? I would say the tarot course is going to be friendly for any level. So if you're a beginner, you know, you're going to learn a lot. And if you are more experienced, you're definitely going to be able to deepen your relationship with the tarot and with your own intuition. And the way I have it structured is it's kind of almost boot camp like, because I'm really packing in a lot of information, a lot of hands-on practice. But I also have built in some time to get feedback and see if there's other things that maybe I haven't thought of that people want to learn about. So it's definitely, I want to create like a back and forth engaging, you know, environment instead of me just talking. But yeah.
I love that. And then Jill says, Tiger's Eye is the stone most recommended for Geminis. I have Gemini in like 6 houses. How hilarious is that? Grounding. Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to another question. I think this is for both of us. Jerry, are these like real-time web meetings or pre-recorded videos? So I'll go first, Tiffany, and then I'll let you go. It depends on what you're taking. If you're taking my Evergreen course, you're getting videos, and then we do live Q&As and things like that. If you are joining on January 7th with the live group, you can join in person, online, and or get the video downloads. It depends on what you need, again, because it's adult learning. So I know you can't necessarily be there every week, even if you want to be. So it's a combination of things, but most people for these January 7th classes we're talking about here today are going to want to join online live.
Yeah, same with me. But I don't have an Evergreen yet, but you can join live with me, or once each week is recorded, you can do a video download if that's works better for you.
Yeah, and we made sure we did this with Tiffany's course so that if you miss, it's not like, it's over. You're just going to get the video download for that. You just have to wait for it. Again, because this is the first time she's running it, so we're recording it for the first time. So you're just going to have to wait until it's finished downloading. I am also re-recording. I haven't recorded since COVID. Okay, so that's a big part of the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to look at those old gross videos anymore. So, you know, they're good curriculum, but it's just got that COVID feel. So if that's the class you want, is the one I recorded, you're going to have to wait. And that usually takes, we like to say 24 hours, but sometimes it's like 48 hours, or, you know, it's slow to download. We just don't know. So I would expect to get it within like 3 to 4 days of the time it was recorded, if that's the choice you make. Okay, we have another question coming in. And this is from Find Your Feathers. If you sign up to take the course online, can you attend in person when it fits your schedule? For Tiffany, no, because she's 100% online. For me, it depends. If you're not purchasing an in-person seat, they may sell out and there's no room for you. So I would highly recommend that when you register, if you plan to be there sometimes, you're purchasing an in-person seat. You're an in-person student who just maybe sometimes is online, you know, or sometimes you have to get the video download, if that makes some sense. So for those of you who are purchasing strictly online for my course, no, you can't just be like coming here and popping in. Again, it's going to be limited seating. For sure. And Tiffany is 100% online. Okay. But that's all up on the website too. You can see exactly what you're purchasing. Okay. And we have any more questions coming in? This is from Sarah. That's for you, Tiffany.
All right, Sarah, how can tarot be used? Tarot is a bottomless pit of possibilities. So you could, it's so rich. It's so rich. You could use it for self-development. You could use it for, you know, like professional readings like this, but you could also, I've been using it in my artwork. I've been using, you could, as a writer, if you're a writer, you can make stories. If you're having writer's block, use the tarot. There's so many ways to use this that I just love it so much. And that's why I'm excited for this course.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that, you know, a lot of people just don't want like a whole big spread, you know, on who knows what. So a lot of people just have like one question.
Yeah.
And that's become, especially with the economy and everything, like that's become a bigger purchase over the most recent years, where people don't have a lot of money to spend, or they don't have a lot of time. And so it's just like, I have this one pressing question.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
yeah, it's great for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to another question from Grace. And I think this is for both of us also, Tiffany. Grace says, will there be opportunities for one-on-one guidance or personalized feedback during the courses? So I am literally your teacher, and we're going to have Q&A at the end of every single class. I sometimes, depending on the group, if people aren't interrupting with too many questions, if the group is good with that, I will let you ask as we go. Okay. But if it's becoming disruptive and kind of killing the flow, I'm going to tell you to hold it. You know, we're going to hold it till the end. But yes, every single week, you're going to have Q&A with me. And you also, again, you'll be working with assistant teachers. So the assistant teachers are really going to be there more when you're working with the volunteers, the guinea pigs, and you're giving readings and you're starting to practice with certain things. And they will also be there to answer your questions as we go. And then, you know, I try to open class also to catch up with any questions that came from the previous week. So we kind of open with it and then we close with it. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, so I've also built in some time in each class for Q&A. Also, we'll be doing a lot of class practice with, you know, the cards and the spreads and different techniques of the tarot. So I'll be working with you, you know, if you're live, I'll be working with you directly. But I also am doing 2 times during the course, I'm doing personalized feedback on recorded readings that you've done. So 2 times during the course, you'll have to record your readings, send them to me, and I'll give you feedback on your readings. And will there be opportunities? Yeah. So I think that's, I'm trying to be as engaging as possible in my course.
Yeah, and like I said, I do the same thing. You have a 15-minute assessment that comes directly to me, and you're going to be getting recorded feedback from me. A 30-minute assessment, same thing there. And, you know, mostly during the exercises, I would say, is when we can give you the most personalized like attention and feedback. So as long as you show up for those, and, you know, that's absolutely a huge part of it. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you so much, Grace. This is from Lily. What can we do with our cert after the course is over? So I'll let Tiffany answer that, but her answer is probably going to be very similar to mine. So when you get certified in anything through Roots Revival Interfaith or the Ivy League Psychic Academy, you're able to work Ivy's Healing Call Center, which is open 7 days a week. We work internationally, offering whatever you're certified in, right, to the public. You are also up for hire at Ivy League Psychic Fairs. So this is a great opportunity because people will just call me from like businesses, or they're having a wedding, or they're having a, you know, a big personal party or a family reunion or whatever, Halloween gig, you know, Sweet 16. People will call and they'll say, or they're having a festival, like larger events. This is big on the wine trail, you know, so they'll say, we need a couple tarot readers, 3 psychic mediums, whatever it is. And I'll just send out readers, and we offer Ivy League Psychic Fairs. Now, part of that is also that you're taking spillover work, I call it. So when people try to book gigs with me and I can't, or I'm sure the same thing will be happening with Tiffany, you can't get to them all, those go into what we call the Ivy League Opportunities Chat. And this is a Facebook like group message, and anyone in that chat is certified in something, you know, Reiki, you're a reverend, you're a tarot reader, you're a psychic medium, whatever it is. And then we post there different gigs that are available, and people can take from that. Well, you know, and then I think it gives you credibility. You know, there are a lot of people who recognize that, and this is how we've gotten into a lot of exclusivity contracts. People recognize the Ivy League Psychic Academy name as being something of high quality and professionalism. So, you know, it'll help you there also. Tiffany?
Yeah, so after you get if you choose to get certified, you can definitely, like Ivy said, be part of any of her fairs if you choose to, or pick up extra gigs there. I also have 1 week in the course dedicated to like business marketing yourself type deal. So we'll definitely go get into like finding, you know, parties to do and stuff like that. So
okay, and then also you're eligible once you're certified to become a teacher at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So people who want to come here and they want to start training people, you know, that's the first step. So there are lifelong work opportunities. Absolutely. Okay, so it looks like we are at time. I do want to clear up payment options. So historically, we have had, you know, pay in full, or you're paying in sort of larger chunks. But given the way things have gone, especially here in America in recent years with, you know, the recession and inflation and this and that and the other, I changed it up. So number one, I have not raised prices. We keep our prices very reasonable. I have not raised prices in years. So when people say, oh, well, can I get a discount? You know, because I know everyone's raised prices with inflation. Can I get a discount? I didn't. And what I did in addition, okay, to leaving the prices as they were, was to allow you guys for payment plan like options where you could pay every week instead of in larger chunks. So if you want to pay more, you can, but don't feel like you have to. And you have that option also, Tiffany, right? With your course, pay as you go.
Yeah, whatever payment options you have, I think you can do for mine as well.
Mhm. Okay. So lots of possibility here. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, Tiffany. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to it. All right, you guys, producers in training, I think they did a great job. Let's give them a hand. Awesome. All right. And yeah, again, if you guys have any other questions and you're watching this once it's published, go ahead and post. Tiffany and I will be checking the comment sections here over the next couple weeks. And again, if you want to go ahead and get yourselves registered, Ivy League Psychic Academy.com. Thanks so much. Have a great night.